The will of D? Blockchain is often described as decentralized, but in reality, no one fully understands the precise concept of decentralization. Some may claim decentralization just because coin mining is possible, or they might misinterpret central servers as akin to dictatorship, thus confusing decentralization with democratization or voting. Others who have only learned about blockchain through cryptocurrencies might argue that decentralization requires the absence of whales and equal distribution. Derived from the DIN decentralized, DApp is used as a proper noun, and you also see it in DX, DeFi, and other contexts. What exactly is a DApp to people? Most seem to think a DApp is merely an application dealing with coins, despite no application so far having been stored as blockchain data. So what does the DIN blockchain contexts really mean? The concept of decentralization in blockchain originates from distrust. Bitcoin, which emerged due to distrust of even the US government, represents a response to the inability to trust data held by others or other servers. Therefore, the solution to this problem is the mechanism where data is held directly by the individual, which is what blockchain represents. Essentially, decentralization refers to infusing trust into a distrustful network by having individual nodes hold the complete data, rather than trusting a central server's data. When determining the authenticity of blockchain, it is crucial to check whether individual nodes can indeed hold the blockchain data. While more detailed explanations would require discussing computer science concepts like data input and output, and Byzantine fault tolerance BFT, the simplest way to verify this is to check whether the data is being stored directly. Unfortunately, most people are not interested in this aspect, making blockchain a ripe field for deception. As mentioned, blockchain starts from distrust, so the idea of storing blockchain data directly to establish trust isn't difficult to grasp. However, most so-called blockchain technologies claim to support node participation while failing to allow verification of blocks on personal PCs. This is frustrating for those in the blockchain industry. The data they claim to store is often accessible through APIs, which are merely a means to check data stored on other PCs via communication protocols. Expanding on this, it's clear how absurd mobile mining is. For mobile mining to be feasible, a mobile device would need to store all previous block data. Yet, no such blockchain with mobile mining exists in reality. If an application claims to earn coins just by being open, it is essentially an airdrop. This explanation is not meant to criticize other blockchains but to clarify concepts based on principles. So, what about DApps? While the concept of DApps seems to be proliferating, few can precisely define what a DApp is. People often only recite the definition of a DApp as an application running on a blockchain. A DApp is not an application communicating with a specific server. When we use games or utility apps, they interact with data from a server managed by a company. However, a DApp interacts with blockchain data and thus cannot be tied to a specific server. Consequently, a DApp must apply a logic similar to participating in the blockchain network as a node. While DApps do not need to reach consensus, they must be able to collect block data from an indeterminate number of sources. Creating a DApp requires a deep understanding of blockchain fundamentals, and many mistakenly consider any application dealing with coins as a DApp. Even wallet applications illustrate this. They require communication with the blockchain to check balances and perform transactions. If a wallet application only retrieves data from its own operated nodes, would we still consider it a DApp? If the operating node goes down, the wallet application ceases to function, which is akin to the drawbacks of a central server. Therefore, DApps are highly complex and have not yet been fully realized. The same applies to DX and DeFi. As stated, the DIN these terms can be understood as the DIN distrust. Although decentralization is often marketed positively, anyone who uses DApps or engages with the decentralized world for even a week will encounter numerous inconveniences. Nonetheless, decentralization persists because it arises from the inability to trust centralized entities. Restoring trust would make centralized systems understood as systemic centralization faster and more convenient. Decentralization is inherently slower and lacks customer service. It only provides user guides for DApps, not support for lost account information like banks. D encompasses discomfort and represents all negative aspects but also guarantees one thing: it ensures a certain level of trust. This trust equates to individual freedom. The original Bitcoin aimed for freedom from reckless currency management by central governments. Although the will of has been undermined by countless scammers, speculators, sensationalist media, and inaccurate online information, its essence remains unbroken. SASEUL is precisely and accurately continuing the will of The will of signifies freedom from centralization and distrust. This is the true essence of
Every time I train myself because of you. If you wanna be in my way cause of me, the stars were shining to me away, whispering, I want you to know you're my world. Every time I'm crazy it's because of you. If you're looking right in me because of love, to me it's a pretty wonderland. Do not make me cry again. I need you right now. I'm gonna be fine. You left me